game, but to get the result, how does that feel?
Yeah, incredible. Weren't a nice game. We knew it was going to be a battle, just because of the position of the both teams. But what I like from the boys is that we didn't give up. We fought to the very end. And yeah, we got a penalty, and luckily enough, it went in this time.
Such fine margins as well, because at one stage it looked like you'd gone 2-0 down, and then within moments you got the equaliser.
Yeah, again, we seemed to keep conceding straight after half time. But obviously, when that got disallowed, it sort of changed the momentum in the game. Then it brought like a real belief in the squad, and we went on to obviously go and win the game, but outperform West Ham. So delighted with the 3 points and happy we got it on the table.
You used the word belief there. Do you feel West Ham, with the start they got, perhaps quell that in you, and it took that goal to get you back into it?
Yeah, definitely, and it shouldn't have to be like that. We should be starting every game with the full belief and ready to go on. But it's not been that case recently. Obviously, their goal obviously put us on a downer, but we reacted well. It's a great header from Dominguez, incredible header, and that gave us the belief then to go and show that we can win the game, and we did.
You were right at the heart of the penalty decision. What was your view of the whole thing?
To be honest, I just got whacked in the face and I didn't have a clue what was going on. Didn't have a clue. I couldn't breathe. So yeah, when obviously I think I just came to my senses when he said it was a penalty. So there was no doubt in my mind I wanted to take it.
And when you took it, I mean, what are the nerves going through you? Are you completely sure in your mind what you're going to do? No doubts?
No doubts. I was practicing it yesterday. So yeah, no doubts. It's kind of a safety one, but we got the 3 points in the end, so yeah.
And in terms of the magnitude of the victory as well, does this set you up going forward for the remainder of the season now?
Yeah, I hope so. So obviously it's what we want to do. We want to go into the game believing, full of confidence and wanting to get 3 points every single game. That's not always the case, but we've got to kick on this year now and start again, and hopefully we can start picking up more points and put them on the table and finish the season strong.
Well, if anything, the 3 points will have given them a huge amount of confidence and belief, as he just said.
Yeah, absolutely. He said the game wasn't pretty.
It doesn't have to be, though, does it? It's just about points,
at the end of the day, if you come away with the 3 points, especially in those circumstances where you're playing the team just below you, so much riding on the game, you just want to get the points at any cost. And yeah, it wasn't pretty, and it was left, to chance a little bit with the penalty that they got in the end. But the manager won't be thinking about how the game went today. He'll just be thinking, right, we've travelled to West Ham. We beat a team that's, right below us, could catch us, could get near us, but we've got the 3 points. So let's just go back home, dust ourselves off, and prepare for the next game.
OK, let's clear up something that happened, a big talking point, I know, amongst the fans, amongst the West Ham fans that were watching. There was a disallowed goal. Tati was offside for a Somerville goal. I think all of us collectively thought, wow, West Ham are 2-0 up. And when we watched it back, of course, it was then deemed offside. Talk us through your thoughts on this decision, first of all.
Yeah, well, first of all, I think Somerville, I mentioned at half-time back, he was the one really that I thought if West Ham had got a chance of doing anything, it would come from him. And then, it comes to him here, and it's a fantastic finish. And, I was up. And then, obviously, when you watch it back, you see it was sort of like, what did it was, it's a tackle, and he's in the offside position. He's in off, but it's the law's the law. Even though at the time, you see it and you think, it's a bit tight, it's a little bit harsh, that, but listen, the law's the law, and, it's unfortunate for West Ham. But that's the sort of like how it's going for West Ham in a minute, just no luck. But it was a fantastic finish from Somerville, but just unlucky.
I think for people that might be still thinking, why on earth? How has this even happened? Is it deliberate play by Milinkovic? Because what they are saying and what the rules are saying, that this is not deliberate play by Milinkovic. But what were your thoughts when you saw it, Rachel?
Yeah, I think this is where the rule is extremely harsh, and probably, I know from when the referees came in last season to speak to us ahead of the season starting, they sort of clarified that you got to be in full control, and they break it down here. This is obviously the physical letter of the law. And so when you make that tackle motion as a defender, you're not fully in control of the direction of where the ball may go. So that's how then the referees deem that to be not deliberate, even though the intention to tackle is deliberate. So this is one of these ones, the decision was correct. It just feels extremely harsh. Because I remember when we were saying next door, we were like, that's a tackle. But then you understand, technically, yes, it is offside.
Yeah, so right decision was made in the end, but we do wonder about the rule. But we're not going to get into that because we're going to head straight back to the ground and hear from Thomas Soucek.
Thomas, does that feel like a very difficult defeat to explain?
Yeah, sure. We wanted to win. We were winning in the half-time. It was so close to be 2-0, and I think we would get all 3 points, but at that we lost the game, and it's so tough for us because we know where we are on the position.
In terms of the start to the game, was that exactly what you needed? Do you feel you improved significantly from what happened at the weekend?
Yes, I was very happy from the start. We created a few chances, then we scored the goal, and I was just happy as I could be, like from all of it in this first half time. Then we scored, as I say, we scored the second, and I think when it was disallowed, it a little bit kept us down, and then it was tough, obviously, but it's so difficult to lose by the goal at the end.
The goal for Nottingham Forest seemed to give them a lot of confidence. Did you lose confidence in that moment as a team?
Yeah, as I said, when we scored the second and it was disallowed, and in a few minutes we conceded for the draw, it was tough for us, and Nottingham Forest had all joy at that moment, for 10-20 minutes. So we just wanted to keep going because I believe that we will score the goal, the winning goal, and then was the opposite.
It came down to a VAR decision with the penalty, asking the referee to go and have a look at the monitor. What was your view of that penalty?
For me, it's a joke because I just saw it, and obviously we can have 20 penalties per game if it's like that. I came to Premier League because I thought that it's the toughest league in the world, and we are all fighters, warriors. But this looks like it's more like basketball because you can't touch the player. That's what I saw, but it's only my opinion.
Well, we will come to the penalty incident and the penalty in just a moment. But let's rewind. Of course, West Ham went 1-0 up, didn't they, via a Murillo own goal. But let's have a look at 1-1. And this was scored from Dominguez. And the reason this hurt even more, because this was 3 minutes after the disallowed goal.
Yeah, and you can sort of sense it. I think when obviously that got disallowed and Forest ran it. But, I mean, we spoke about Walter Peters here, his position. I think when you're on the post, your job is to stay on the post. I've done that job before. Your job is to stay on the post, and anything that comes in that area, you just head it away. But you can see he moves a little bit and actually jumps too early. And I mean, when he watches that back, he'll be disappointed in that, because that is your job. You have to be disciplined and stay on the post. And if he stays on the post and actually does his job, he heads that away.
The thing that I was asking you as we were watching this is he's one of the shorter players in the team.
Yeah.
Why is he on the post?
He should be on the post because he doesn't want to. So that would be my job, on the edge of the box or on the post, because
you wouldn't do that, would you, Jermaine? No. Of course you wouldn't.
Oh, someone will be looking through
exactly.
all the clips.
No, but you don't want to be in the mix with all the bodies and that, with obviously the bigger players.
Yeah,
of course. Yeah, so you're away from the pressure and that. And but like I said, as we spoke before, you have to stay on the post.
OK, well, let's now talk about exactly the penalty incident and the penalty that we've just heard about from Thomas Souček. He obviously didn't think that this was a foul, but what did you think, Wes?
Yeah, it's a clear foul for me. I'm not sure what Souček, was quite trying to say with his point. Yeah, there is some physicality to the Premier League, but you can see the keeper has come out, got no ball, and got Gibbs-White clean in the head. So as soon as the referee's gone to the monitor, I think there's only one outcome. Yeah,
we knew that once he went to the monitor, but when you saw it initially, what did you think? Did you think it was a foul?
It was difficult to see initially, so I can totally understand why the referee didn't perhaps give it straight away. But even I often think being a centre-back, being someone who's been in these positions, when a ball's coming in like that, and if in your defensive line you're quite deep, I always felt as a player, let us deal with it. If we're deep on top of the goalkeeper, let us deal with it. And when you've somebody like Thomas Souček, who does win a lot of aerial balls, you can trust that. So for me, I just think it's so frustrating because they actually deal with the delivery extremely well. It's tough in those situations. It's a brilliant ball. There's lots of bodies. And it's just a shame because the goalkeeper is trying to help, but it's a decision that's really costly.
So he wins the penalty and he scores it as well, Jermaine.
Yeah, I mean, he's an unbelievable player. He's quite quiet tonight, to be honest. Didn't do much. But big moments, big players. You've got to stay calm and composed in that moment. And you just knew he was going to score. Fantastic penalty.
There's pressure on that.
A lot of pressure, big pressure. Didn't seem it, did it? He's really calm and composed in that. But he's a top player. He lives for those sort of moments.
And that's the thing when you say that he didn't do much all night. He just did what he needed to do in the end, which was score the winning goal. Yeah,
really quiet by his standards. And yeah, on the basis of the game, it was pretty much even. I think Dominguez, he had a good game. He really went about the game, tried to get on the ball, tried to create and probe. But yeah, when you need your big players to step up and do the difficult job. I'm not a guy for penalties, you know, you speak to Jermaine probably more about that. But yeah, it was a crucial moment at the end of the game with a penalty that needs to be scored, and he stepped up and scored it.
And it was a goal that ended a run of 4 straight defeats. Let's hear from their manager, Sean Dyche.
Sean, can you sum up your feelings after that one?
Well, pleased, obviously. Pleased with the mentality of the players. You know, awkward game for both sides for different reasons, different sort of noise around the game. And to go 1-0 down and stay calm and deliver a second half which could win the game is very pleasing, quite obviously. Pleasing for the lads' mentality. So pleased for them once again. I mean, I said before, you know, people forget we lost 4, but it was like it seemed to create a massive story very quickly. If you look at the last, I think it's 9 points in 8 games, it doesn't sound like, if you look at the league table of results, you see some teams down there have been lauded this season. So it's the way it is. The noise changes quickly, and we've got to turn it around the other way, and that's a big start point or a restart.
And even today, the margins were so fine as well, the disallowed goal, and you went straight up the other end and scored. Yeah,
I mean, you know, we've been on the wrong side of that, of course, where it's gone against us with VAR. Look, I mean, as you know, I'm a fan of it, not for the crowd, I understand that, but as a professional, I'm a fan of VAR, and that's what it's there for. And both decisions are right, I've been told. I haven't checked them back, but that's what I've been told.
Was your view of the penalty, do you feel that was the correct decision too, yeah?
Yeah, well, I haven't seen it back, but I've been told it was, so I'll just go with that for now.
Do you feel, once that goal was given your way and was disallowed just moments earlier for West Ham, do you feel that lifted your side significantly, that they had struggled maybe to get into the game to that point?
It weren't struggled to get in the game, just too methodical, you know. And then second half we started changing the feel of it a bit more, which I asked for at half time, so I'm pleased they listened and tried to send the giant up to Dominguez, you know, the big giant, to win. Obviously we planned that one. No, but you know, sometimes you need the rub of the green, and it went our way for a couple of big decisions, of course. But I think the mentality of the players was good, because it's a weird game, it's an edgy game, you know. The law of averages says they'll win a game when you haven't done it in so long, and I'm pleased it wasn't against us.
In that sense, do you feel it lacked quality, and it was one of those games where, you know, you had to grind it out maybe?
Yeah, I mean, goodness me, it's not, you know, I'm not asking them to slick everywhere in a game like that. So you could almost, you know, you could feel the nerves in the stadium. So no, they're awkward games, they always are them, and they're important games, everyone's 6 point and all the rest of it. But you know, we've shown a mentality to find a way of winning, and that's an important factor. You know, some days you play brilliantly, as we have done a few weeks ago, very, very short time ago against Tottenham Hotspur. Had a tough run, but then we come out with a grind and a fighting result. But I'll take that, because that's what you need in a team. It can't always be beautiful. You've got to find a way, and we've found a way tonight.
Do you learn a bit about your players in those moments too? Because you know they've still got that fight in them.
Yeah, I mean, there's more to come from this group. I know there is, but, you know, you've still got to find a way. You know, the game is very rarely the perfect game for you. You know, you've got to find different ways of operating, and we're still learning about the players. They're learning about us. There has been a shift in mentality. I'm pleased with that, and with the results, of course. So I'm pleased with that. You know, the points return is decent from when we came in compared to what it was. So there's still work to be done, by the way. But you get what I mean. You've got to look at it. You know, my job is to cut through all that noise and see the facts of it, which I try and do.
And when you talk about work to be done, is that more composure on the ball and showing the quality that you feel is in the squad?
Yeah, it's finding the details. You know, the right. I mean, early on in the game, no one across the ball, it was like driving us mad. You know. So the wrong with crossing the ball, it's like 15 passes to just then cross it, and it doesn't ask enough questions. But as the game wore on, we did ask more questions by mixing the play, and that's what I want. I want the team to be effective in different ways. So, yeah, by no means a classic, I understand that, but you've got to find a way of winning, and that's found a way of winning tonight.
You did look a bit fraught on the touchline at times, but you wouldn't swap it for anything when you get the result, would you?
Yes, I would. I would definitely swap it for everything. But no, look, I mean, these are awkward games. You know, I've been through them because of my career and the teams I've managed. I've been through a lot of these awkward games. It's not easy. Not easy on anyone, including the supporters, but I'm pleased to come out the right side of it tonight, and the players, I think, overall, have just about deserved it.
Well done.
Thank you.
Well, we touched on it earlier that being in a relegation battle is one of the toughest things in football, and you've been there before, Jimmy. Give us a sense of what this victory will have done for those Forest players.
I think more relief than anything. I think when you're down there, sometimes your game might change, and you know you're a little bit desperate. And it's a case of you want good performances, but I think just a case of winning, getting 3 points. And if you can't win, you know, try not to lose, because those points, you know, at the end of the season can add up. But I think it's more of relief, you know. And I think even though it won a great game, but they got the job done, and that's all you can do.
So relief for those Forest players. What about for West Ham? Let's hear from their boss, Nuno Espírito Santo.
Nuno, it must be a heartbreaking way to lose a game, but can you give us your assessment of it?
Yeah, I think we did enough good things to win the match today. I think the boys really work hard. We got advantage. We score a goal, ruled out by fine margin of offside. That was the moment of the game. then a lot of incidents happen. But nothing to say about the hard work of the boys today.
We'll go to the end, really, because that was the key moment. What was your view of that penalty decision?
We had a lot. It happened so many times during the matches that we get confused about the rules. Honestly, so many times this has happened and not been given penalties. So we cannot quite understand.
As a former goalkeeper yourself, you looked at Areola there and maybe thought there was nothing he could do differently.
He goes for the ball. There's Thomas Soucek takes the ball out, and then he cannot stop his movement. So hard to explain.
You said there were a lot of good things about that performance, and I imagine the way the team started and got control early and got a goal early must have pleased you a lot.
Yeah, that was the idea, and the boys did it. We had good combinations with control. We had the threat in attack. It was a good first half, and we started pretty well the second half. I insist, there's a fault on the edge of the box that leads then to Forrest going out on Somerville. So this takes the mind out of the players and makes it hard to explain how things happen.
There were such close margins, as you touched on. Went from possibly 2-0 to then 1-1. In that moment, do you feel the players lost a bit of confidence and lost a bit of that character they had?
No. They keep fighting. They keep till the end. We knew that how important this match was, and the boys till the end. We had chances. Didn't go to ours today.
The goal that got them back, for us back in the game, it was another one from a corner as well. Is it becoming increasingly frustrating to see goals like that go in?
Yeah, we scored from a corner also, Johnny. So it's we have to try and do better, but it's a flick ball. It's hard to defend. It's not about organisation.
Can you tell us the mood of the players in there at the moment? Because it looks like you're just not getting a break. And you do need something to change.
Yeah, but we keep believing. We keep sticking together, and it's not over yet. We'll keep on going.
We spoke to Thomas Soucek, and he said there was a lot of belief in the squad, a lot of belief in you. What message would you give to the West Ham fans who are seeing a team that's not winning at the moment?
It's hard to ask them anything. It's hard to explain. We understand their frustration, the sadness, and we are all the same. What can we say? It's keep helping us. And again today they show that when the team gives, they give back the support that we need. I think today the boys show that we are here to keep a fight.
They definitely did show more fight than what we saw against Wolves, that's for sure. But he's right, they need the fans on side because things have to start improving.
Yeah, it's not easy. I think we can't sit here and say like it's easy in a performance. Like it's difficult for the players to play in that sort of environment. You look around and the stadium's empty, the boos at the end. The Wolves game, and it's been like that for a long time now. Seem to not be able to win games, can't keep clean sheets. But the only positives that you can take from it is the performance today was a lot better than the Wolves game. There's some good individual performances. Jared Bowman had a good chance. You fancy him to score. So his form was not really there at the minute, but he's been so consistent for West Ham for so many years. Some of who I thought he looked really sharp. So we just like to think that all they can do really is just stay positive and just stick together.
What do we think of Nuno and his position, his future?
Well, he's obviously under pressure, naturally being a manager of a team that's in the relegation zone. I don't think him moving on or them choosing to, relieve him of his duties, I don't think that helps the club. He's been in similar situations with other clubs in the past that have been at that end of the table, and they've got to try and do their best to find a way to compete in games and try and get points on the board, but it's going to be tough.
They have a break in the Premier League with the FA Cup fixtures and then back to the Premier League where they play Spurs. Good time to have a little break away from the league?
Yeah, yes or no. I think you want to, put things right as soon as possible. So that break, mentally you get refreshed. But at the same time, you want to get back on the pitch and try and make things right. A lot of time to kind of reflect on the performance, kind of what to do next. There's new players involved, but at the same time, he knows there needs to be big improvements.